Hi, I'm Michael LaFosse from the Origami Studio. This butterfly design is named for Mr. Makoto Yamaguchi, founder of the Gallery Origami House in Tokyo. And you can see I've used the colors to represent the Japanese flag. I'm going to be folding from a larger piece of paper. The specimen that you saw was from a 6-inch square. This paper is approximately 10 inches square. White on one side, red on the other. Begin with the red side up and fold bottom edge to top edge to make a white rectangle. Unfold. You have a horizontal center crease. We're going to put a series of pinch folds as guides. The first one begins folding the bottom edge to the center crease and making a short pinch here on the right. Unfold. There's the mark. Take the same bottom edge to the mark and put in a second pinch fold. We have two. Lay the lower pinch fold upon the upper one, and we're going to fold all the way across between the two. Keep the cut edges or raw edges of the paper aligned, one on top of the other, as you do this. So now we have a rectangular white flap. We're going to fold triangle corners. I'm going to rotate the paper to do this most comfortably, taking a corner and folding it to make the triangle's edge align with the folded white edge. We'll do the same thing at the other end. Like that. We're going to use this valley crease to take this half flap right over, and I'm going to rotate it for comfort, putting the folded edge at the top. I'll be making a new folded edge down here, aligning with the folded edge underneath. Now, open the paper so that this rectangular flap is in the front and on the left, and that everything is tall in the vertical orientation. Fold bottom edge to top edge. And we're going to set up for a squash fold. Using the crease in the center as a base hinge, I'm going to take the right half, which has these extraneous flaps, right over, sharpening the crease, and then stand it up. Open the layers, and for comfort, rotate. So we have this open hood shape. We want to keep the layers in good place while we flatten symmetrically, aligning the crease with the folded edge. So here's our squash fold. Let's turn the paper over to the other side now. And before we do our other squash fold, we're going to make these flaps extend as far as possible flat. So we're going to pull them open and put in new folds, making the triangle flap full length. Using the crease, which you can see here as a hinge, take the center paper over and flatten out of the way so we can get to the other flap. Same thing, extending it as far as it will go flat. Now we can squash fold the center area. Once again, it's a good idea to rotate the paper for comfort. Make sure that your underlayers are stable and centered, holding before folding, and then we can align the spine crease of the top layer with the split underneath and squash. And your paper should look like this, oriented this way. We're going to take the square red corner at the bottom and fold it to touch the top of the paper in the middle where the gap ends. And put a good firm crease straight across. Now, set these two sections perpendicular to each other and have the triangle-shaped flap flat on the table. That's so we can squash fold the right and left sections to become wings. Notice the spine crease right along the top layer here. We want that to align with the folded edge inside. And squash. Let's do the other side. Same thing. Make sure that you open the cone all the way to the center. Keep the layers stable while you align the layers for squash folding. We're going to modify the wings a little bit and put a little overlap in the center. Starting here at the hind wing, I'm going to move this mountain folded edge up and over onto the hind wing, and the guide for placement is from the center of the model to this outer corner of the wing. And you'll see you have a little excess here. We're going to pull the excess down, and we're going to pull over the top edge of the wing, making a new folded edge. And the guides are the same from the center of the paper here to the extreme corner on the wing. Now we have this nice extra flap, and we're going to bring it downward and flatten it. So this makes a nice natural overlap for our wings. Let's do the other side. Starting with the hind wing, roll the folded edge over, making a new folded edge. And then we can go ahead and pull this upper layer downward to the extreme limit and flatten. We're going to change the shape of these corners, and one nice way to do this for guidance is to put the flap up, bring it down. You'll have a little crease here. That will guide you with this next pre-crease, which is to take the short edge of that corner and fold it over to align with the crease, and then unfold. The next thing we can do is to open and just push it inside. That's called an inside reverse fold, and there's the new shape. Let's do the same thing on the other side. If you didn't want to do this, you can actually burnish the paper, and you'll see a ghost of the crease, which is just as useful for guiding the placement of this pre-crease. Unfold, and then we can push that corner in along those guiding creases. That gives you good symmetry and a reliable, reproducible result. Here's another thing that happened. We also released this layer. And what I like to do is to, starting at the inside as far as it can go in, I'm going to mount and fold this edge neatly behind all the way to the tip of the wing. It gives it a finished look, and it allows us to see more of the other color. It's also going to help us later on when we make the swallowtail effect. You'll see more about that as we approach that step. Let's do the other side. Reaching in, what you want to do is find the widest part inside as much as possible, and then make a straight mountain folded edge all the way to the end of the wing. There. So here's the next shape. Let's work on the forewings now. That's the forward wing. And we're going to put that series of triangles for a decorative pattern. You're going to use this crease and also this wide corner as a guide, taking the corner of the flap over, aligning it with the crease, and then backing it off until you just cover this wide corner. It's okay if this edge, the cut edge, moves away from the crease as long as it runs parallel to the crease while you're trying to cover this little corner. Then you put a nice crease in there. We're going to take the square corner of the flap and fold it backwards in alignment with the white cut edge. And then we can take the little corner and fold it forward. And then you'll have a nice series of triangles, white and red. Let's do the other side. Same constraints. Find your crease. Bring your flap over. Make sure that you hide that little corner as you do that. Fold back. And then forward. And you'll have your series of triangles. We're going to finish the hind wings. We have these square cornered triangle flaps to deal with. First, fold the flap tightly over the back edge of the wing. The cut edges can move to the base one at a time, and we're going to do that comfortably by rotating the paper first. Fold edge to edge, unfold. Fold the other edge to edge, and unfold. Now let's put the flap back and we can see our creases. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the other one while we're at it. Define and organize that layer over, because we need valley creases on the red side. That's why we're doing that. Here's what we're going to do again. One edge goes to the folded edge, unfold, and the other cut edge goes to the same folded edge and unfold, and return the flap. Now, we're going to make a little red spot by taking the square corner of white and folding it to touch where these creases intersect, right to the point of intersection. Now that that's set up, we're going to use the creases from before and make what's called a rabbit ear. Here's how that works. We flex both creases as we put the layers on top of the wing, and now watch the little red spot. We're going to mount and fold that in half, right up the middle. This is what it looks like vertically, but we do want it to become flat, and we're going to push it flat down, pointing towards the back corner of the hind wing. And now we have that attractive little red triangle spot. Let's do that on the other wing. The little corner goes to the point of intersection, creating the red spot, a little color change. And then we use the creases, which we installed earlier, and then fold our little triangle and flatten it, pointing toward the back end. We're going to make the swallowtail shape now, and to do that you want to look for the folded edge of the work you've just done. We're going to use that as a guide to mount and fold the corner of the wing behind itself along that edge, and then unfold. So we have a mountain crease that runs full length and it aligns with the back folded edge. Now we're going to make a little rabbit ear shape. We're going to do it by pinching along the color change edge. So starting at the tip, I'm going to mount and fold from the tip and follow along all the way up to where the crease I just put in enters onto the red paper. So we've got this effect going. Then take some of this back edge, about that much, and redirect the mountain crease from this corner off at an angle, like this. To sharpen everything up, it's a good idea to flatten the paper, making a true rabbit ear, and then bring it out. We can give it a little gentle curve like that. There's the swallowtail effect. Go ahead and do that on the other side. Remember, find the folded edge here first. Mount and fold along that edge. Then create the swallowtail by pinching up to the point where the crease intersects the folded edge. Don't forget you're taking a little extra up here to redirect this folded edge, like that, and then go ahead and flatten it well so you can put in good sharp creases. That way. Then unfold. Mount and fold through the center line of the body and head, from here through there, and make a folded edge which we can pivot in this manner. We're going to be making a nice corner here, and you're going to aim to put the pointed end of the abdomen right along this folded edge which you've made earlier. So once you've got it set up, you're going to be flattening the layers behind the paper to put in a real fold, like that. That separates the wing from the body on that side. To do the same thing on the other side, we're going to bring all the lower area of paper up in front to match what's behind everything, and we're going to fold firmly. Open the paper and see the wings set up. We have to flatten the head, which is what we often do with this type of butterfly system. We have this little keel here. I'm going to pinch little valley creases on the inside of the head just so I can puff that keel out a little bit. That makes it easy for me to press, flatten, and make a good squash folded shape here. We need that flat shape because the keel by itself before will not fold easily behind the model. When we do the flat shape, we can get this nice shape for the head. Now let's bring the wings back together so that we can taper the abdomen. Before we do that, we want to prevent splitting here. So what I like to do is to push these folded edges downward and make new folded edges, and that puts this little bottom end of the butterfly's face up away from these folded edges. That will prevent splitting. Now, let's taper the abdomen. It's these shorter edges at the back that are going to move inside the layers. So grab the wide corner, fold in at a tapering angle. Whatever you think looks good is fine. Okay, and then make the other one match. You can fold it in just like this. Firm everything up. Okay, let's open the wings. I want you to notice that I'm going to be folding from the tight fold over down here near the abdomen to a point above the head. So I'm just going to take a moment to do that now, and I'll show you the result. See, as far as it will go here, where the abdomen locks it, but above the head, there's the crease. Let's make the other wing match. You can do that by turning the model over, bringing the layers together, and then bringing everything out for display. The final conformation or shape of this model needs to be adjusted down here at the hind wings with a little bit of a curl at the swallowtail, and then I want you to see how I redirect these layers to face upward. I'm going to reach under here because I want that triangle of red paper at the end of the white flap to display nicely and fully, like this. So there it is, a butterfly for Mr. Makoto Yamaguchi, and the nickname for this is Makoto Cho.